Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. Let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements about National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. It is also referred to as bad bank. It will take over large value NPA or non-performing assets account that are above rupees 500 crore from the banks. Now we have to select the correct statement or statements. Both are correct. C is the correct answer. Union Finance Minister recently reviewed the progress in setting up National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. It is also referred to as a bad bank. It is a special purpose asset reconstruction company to take over large value NPA accounts from the banks. Moving on, while NARCL will acquire and aggregate the identified NPA accounts from the banks, the debt resolution process will be handled by India Debt Resolution Company. Which of the following statements about Sant Kabir are correct? We covered this in our news. He was a disciple of Guru Ramananda. He dismissed the sacred authority of religious books and Vedas and the Quran. Several of Kabir's verses and songs form a vital part of the Guru Granth Sahib. So we have to select the correct statement or statements. All are correct. D is the correct answer. Recently, President Ramnath Kovind inaugurated the Sant Kabir Academy and Research Center Swadesh Darshan Yojana and pay tribute to the Bhakti saint Kabir at Maghar in Uttar Pradesh. Kabir is said to have departed from the modern world in Maghar. He was born in Kashi. He was a disciple of the famous Guru Ramananda, a 14th century Vaishnava poet saint. He dismissed the sacred authority of their religious books, the Vedas and the Quran. Several of his verses and songs form a vital part of the Guru Granth Sahib. Moving on. Kabir's compositions like dohas that are short two-liners, ramanas rhymed four-liners, sung composition of varying length known as padas and shabdas. Moving on, the term carbon bombs recently in the news refer to it is an oil or gas project that will result in at least 1 billion tons of CO2 emission over its lifetime. So a group of environmentalists, lawyers and activists have come together to identify and diffuse carbon bombs. The term carbon bomb refers to an oil or gas project that will result in at least 1 billion tons of CO2 emission over its lifetime. Usage of the term carbon bomb picked up after an investigative project of the newspaper, The Guardian. The project reported the plan of the countries and private companies all over the world to engage in 195 carbon bomb projects. According to the report, these projects will collectively overshoot the limit of the emissions that had been agreed to in the Paris Agreement of 2015. Consider the following statements about eco-sensitive zone. An ESZ could go up to 10 kilometers around a protected area. Activities like commercial use of wood and tourism are prohibited in the ESZs. So we have to select the correct statements. Both are correct. C is the correct answer. Recently, the Supreme Court issued guidelines to keep eco-sensitive zone of 1 kilometer around the forest. Eco-sensitive zones or ecologically fragile areas are areas notified by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change around protected areas, national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. An ESZ could go up to 10 kilometers around a protective area. In case of places with sensitive corridors, connectivity and ecologically important patches crucial for landscape linkage, even area beyond 10 kilometer width can also be included in the eco-sensitive zone. Activities like commercial use of wood and tourism activities are prohibited in the ESZs. Repo rate in India is determined by Monetary Policy Committee of the RBI. Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee decided to hike the policy repo rate by 50 basis points to 4.9%. Repo rate is the rate at which the RBI lends money to commercial banks in the event of any shortfall of funds. Repo rate is used by monetary authorities to control inflation. All other rates such as the reverse repo rate, the rate it pays banks for parking excess funds, moved higher by the same proportion. Cheetahs from South Africa will be translocated to which of the following national park of India? The correct answer is Kuno National Park. 70 years after extinction in India, first batch of cheetahs are set to arrive from Africa in August. First batch of 6 cheetahs will be translocated from South Africa to Kuno National Park in MP. The species was officially declared extinct in 1952. African cheetahs are listed as vulnerable in Iucn Red List. With respect to Ream Naval Base, consider the following statements. It is located on the coast of Gulf of Carpentaria. It is a joint project of US and Cambodia. We have to select the correct statement or statements. Both are not correct. D is the correct answer. Recently, Cambodia denied that it will allow any Chinese military presence at Ream Naval Base in Gulf of Thailand. This base is being co-developed by China and Cambodia. Location of this port is strategically vital as it faces the Gulf of Thailand adjacent to the South China Sea, where China has aggressively asserted its claim. Gulf of Carpentaria is a shallow rectangular sea on the north coast of Australia and an inlet of the eastern Arafura Sea. Moving on. With reference to the Biotech Startup Expo 2022, consider the following statements. It will be held in Gangtok, Sikkim. It's being organized by the Department of Biotechnology and Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. The theme of Expo is Biotech Startup Innovation towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Only the second and the third are correct actually. So B is the correct option. Prime Minister will inaugurate the Biotech Startup Expo at Pragati Maidan, New Delhi on 9 June. It's being organized by the Department of Biotechnology and BDAC. The theme of the expo is Biotech Startup Innovation towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. The expo will act as a platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, industry leaders, scientists, researchers, bio-incubators, manufacturers, regulators, government officials. Consider the following statements regarding Nuclear Supplies Group. It was founded in 1974. Current chair of it is Belgium. The decision in energy are taken on the basis of majority. Energy plenary meetings are held twice a year. So here we have to select the correct statement or statements. Only the first statement is correct. So B is the correct answer. Recently, External Affairs Minister said that India looks forward to joining the energy, overcoming political impediments. This group was created following the explosion in 1974 of a nuclear device by a non-nuclear weapon state. Energy is a group of 48 nuclear supplier countries that seek to contribute to the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Current chair is Poland for 21-22 and the previous one was Belgium. Energy works on the basis of consensus and the plenary meetings are held once a year. In Vedic culture, which god is considered as an intermediary between gods and humans? Agni is the correct answer. Agni is looked upon as an intermediary between gods and humans in Rig Veda. In Rig Veda, there are 200 hymns in praise of god Agni. Rig Veda also contains about 250 hymns in praise of Indra, who is described as a destroyer of cities. The term Darlong, often heard in the news, is related to, the correct answer is, a tribal group. Darlongs, a small community of around 11,000 people in Tripura, was officially included in the list of scheduled tribe. Despite being a small community, Darlongs proudly flaunt a Padma Shri award given to the veteran tribal musicologist Thanga Darlong. Another tribal group of Tripura includes Tripuri or Debamma, Riangs or Brus, Jamatias, Noatia, Ukoi, Chakma, Mog, Lushai. Let's move on to our practice question for the next segment. Consider the following statements regarding Rajya Sabha election. Rajya Sabha MPs are elected by MLAs through an indirect election. Third schedule of the Constitution provides for allocation of Rajya Sabha seats to states and union territories. Select the correct answer. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.